proudest day and the proudest time in the seat of a rally car, because that day and that hour and those minutes, I got the bit between my teeth. You know, I really stood up and was counted and said, this is not getting away. I remember when we pulled on our helmets and Donald says to me, what are we doing? I said, we're going for gold, Barrett. That's all was said. I can still picture that run. That was just the best run ever.
Welcome along to Krunching Gears, the Rally Podcast, Season 2, Episode 33. Krunching Gears on tour this week. We had the pleasure of going up to C&M Motorsport Sales, just over there on Saturday past, and have to say that Marty and all the guys up there made us very welcome. What a fantastic facility. C&M has been going since 95, but the rally car sales has only been going a few short years, Connor, and they've made a great job of it so far.
Absolutely. Sorry, you know, that's a great business they've built in, as you say, in a very short period of time, and you know, they're making a name for themselves. And you know, you had the opportunity not only just to see around the place, but also to get a chance to look at some, you know, very interesting rally cars that they have as well.
Yeah, like the FIA WRC, like the Focus, and then to see the Ari Vatn's Escort WRC being brought off the trailer, like wow, that's magic, I have to say. And then a few couple of other cars that about the place as well too. It really is really good. And then I have to say, Marty and all the guys, very given of their time, very open, very genuine. Marty brought me up the stairs and showed me all different spares and all they have as well too. And that's mind blowing on its own. They have a gravel kit for a Polo, stuff for a Focus WRC, loads of stuff for Fiestas. It's. I would say if you're stuck for a part, give the guys a call.
Absolutely. And, they're a key sponsor of John Armstrong as well. And, John was there for the day, so you had a chance to catch up with him as well.
Yeah, like John, we always talk about how good John is, ERC champion, Rally 3 there as well too, And they also on the day announced then that John and Marty are doing 5 Mile Town next year. And I think that's going to be the start of something there, I think hopefully there's something brewing there, so fingers crossed for John there. But I think we'll catch up with the guys. Marty, C&M Motors has been going since 1995. How did it all begin for you?
I started off in Kevin, it's nice for you to be here too. Come here, thank you very much, first and foremost, for coming today. It's a very, very nice thing for C&M Motors, but also C&M Motorsport. In 1995, I've been selling cars probably from 1992, 1993, and I was selling the cars at home. And I always had an interest in cars and always liked nice cars and always loved rally. And so I was selling cars at home. I was a joiner as well. Couldn't join my hands. So I says, right, I'm bound to be good at sales because I'm a good talker, so people tell me. So, cut a long story short, done it for 3 years, probably sold over 200 cars at home, and we got married in September 1985 to Claire, and where I worked as a joiner, there was a garage beside it, which would have been Grugan's garage for years, and it was empty, and there was a wee mechanic in the back of it, who I got on very well, who, God rest him, he's not about anymore. And but he helped me with his brother get the garage. So on the 1st of December 95, C&M Motors was open. The name, again, where it came from was very simple. There and I would go for a run on a Sunday down to Doherty to get something to eat. And there was a garage at the Spare and Rester called M&S. And I said to Claire, Deadly, what about M&C? And she said to me, M&C doesn't sound it. What about C&M? And I says, there we go. There's C&M Motor. Mm-hmm. And that's how simple the whole thing started. And it's went now 30 years. Yeah. So that's how it started. We started with 10 or 11 or 12 small cars. My mother and father were a great help too, God rest them. They helped us with obviously a certain amount of money.
Mhm.
They helped me get the money. They were only a wee joiner and a wee cleaner, but they were a big part of my life. And helping it with to open C&M Motors, and they always were very positive on everything I'd done in my life, from sport, boxing, or football, or whatever. They were very positive.
Yeah, they let you do your thing and supported you in any way. They thought was good.
Always in life, whether it be good or bad,
They were always there for you.
always there for me. Wasn't too much bad now, but I was never caught.
Well, that's the difference. And then, you know, like, look at the fantastic facilities you have here now. Like, how many people are you employing, you know, just in the car sales and then in the motorsport side of things as well?
Well, we're very, very lucky. We have 11 of us in the car game, right? In the C&M Motors, there's 11 of us. We started with a friend of mine called Gavin years ago. He would have cleaned and I would have cleaned the cars and also sold them. But now we've built up to 14. We have a very, very good team. Very, very good team. We have a team that's here from, a lot of them is here 13, 14 years. And there's some of the lads that's here maybe a year. But we're a great team and we all get on very well, and that's the most important. And we work together well. Not dry, but not too many. But no, we built it up here. It takes a long time to build something up properly. And that's what we've done. Quite content with that.
And like, do you still get the same buzz from selling, you know, like you talked about, you know, that was your love, that you give up the joinery because this was something you were passionate about. Do you still get the same buzz from that as you did back in 95, 96?
Truthfully, no. Rally cars, yes, big time. Yeah, big time. I've always had a wild interest, and obviously Colin McRae was my hero, right? Absolutely. I remember winning the championship with his Group A in Bretza. Watching him in his Focus WRC, racket when he could have won the championship. You know, they were my highlights and they stand out to me. People like Ari Batman, like, you know, what a legend if you ever see him. Just a brilliant people. And I've got to meet some of them. But unfortunately I never met Colin. In reference to selling cars, we have two good lads, David and Gary, who do the sales in C&M Motors. I try and take a step back from that. I might sell cars to people who've sold it for 20 or 25 years, 30 years even. But I'm more into the motorsport now. I love it. There's a lot of work on it, and to do it right, it's crazy amount of hours, crazy work. But I love it, to be honest.
And what prompted the move into that? Like, you know, where did you see the opening there for selling the cars, rally cars?
To be honest with you, it's very, very simple. Again, I always liked it, always wanted to do something, but COVID came. So, just before COVID, I kind of was fed up with the cars because with a good team, it wasn't that I was fed up, sorry, I wanted to do something else. We have a petrol station as well in Mills, and we built that up, and then what I done was I sold the goodwill of it, and I ran it out now. So that meant that I had something big. It was already, sorry, what's the way to put it? We had sold the goodwill of the business, so I had time, three times. And then we decided, woke up one morning and I says, Claire, I want to do rally sales. I'm going to start buying and selling rally cars. Because every time I had a rally car, either sold it myself or exhibited in or whatever the situation. But I nearly always had one Kevin sitting here.
Yes.
And I always put it there so people walked into the door to see it. So I couldn't buy cars. That was the big problem. COVID left cars, for example, in England or the BCA or Man that they were up £2,000 or £3,000. And then also a very good friend of mine who worked for me here, his wife took sick. And that problem, because we're two garages in St. Mills and here, and that problem made me say, right, wait a minute, enough's enough. We'll close down Sion, which was going brilliant, but Guy was a real good lad down there, good manager. So brought him up to Oma, and Blair Clyde, who is a very good friend of ours, who's still a very good friend. His wife took sick, unfortunately, at 27, 28 with cancer. And I wanted to look after him, make sure that he was there for her, and we just decided then, right, one garage, let's go and buy rally cars. And it actually simplified our lives a bit too, and it helped other people and give it a bit of time. To be honest, I haven't looked back, and I feel we're doing very well, and it's something that I want to push on even more.
Excellent. And like David, maybe just pass the mic over there. David, like, you know, how long have you been here yourself, and what was how did you get involved in this?
Well, we actually had a conversation with this the other day, so we did. I don't know if Marty remembered when I first left left school. I went to Triton Centre and I done mechanicum, and I went and I worked for Marty for like 4 days. So I did nothing to do with Marty. They were talking about this. Somebody else was to blame, so it was. But then I always knew throughout the rally. And what we done then was just one day, I think I sent you a message. You had a job position going for the service manager here, so it was sitting over lower hacks and handle all the after sales and stuff in vehicles. To be honest, never really so I always had a passion for wanting to get into sales. So position come available, and I started off here in car sales. And then as soon as Marty branched into the rally car sales, both of the connection with rallying and loving stuff for the sport, he brought me along and I did.
Yeah, and like not only is selling rally cars, you know, a big part of the business is selling, you know, the parts and the spares for the cars as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a big part of the business, and it's a lot, very, very time consuming. So this, sometimes a parts package would come in, and I would look at something and I wouldn't know what it is. You have to go on into the different platforms and learn the part number, because you people are asking you for stuff. Sometimes you're not sure what it is. But now, in fairness, I feel over this last maybe month, 2 months, we've put a big push in the parts. So we have that's kind of my niche. That's kind of where I step on as well as in sales sort of. So.
And like Marty, maybe from your point of view, you know, you competed, you said earlier that, you know, you've been competing for a long number of years. Do you feel that that's giving you an advantage whenever, you know, you're buying and selling rally cars? You know what guys are looking for, and you know you have good contacts as well.
I would say, yeah, that's right. The problem is I could never really drive that well, but I always had good attention to detail, and my rally cars always looked everywhere I went, whether it be England, Wales, Scotland, Cork. Everybody always said how nice and how well presented their cars was. I would be known to have a bit of OCD, along with everything else that I've got, but that I think a lot of my friends might agree with. But I will say that, truthfully, yeah, big time. Been rallying for maybe 25 years. I haven't done crazy amount compared to, you know, like Irish Tarmac Championships. I don't know why I never really
caught up in
that whole business, because I was probably busy with different things. But see, truthfully, like from the Irish Forestry, it's my favourite. My favourite, like, because the camaraderie that I love, for example, 2014, 2018, I remember spending a lot of money every year. Unfortunately, in 2014, I ended up spending a lot of money with Gary McKesky in 15 and 16, because I wrecked my Subaru 12B and nearly killed me and wee Marty. But we'll go past that one very quickly, I think. But no, definitely, I've learned an awful lot. I know what people like, and a lot of our customers that have got to know me, like, they're from Portugal, they're from Australia, they're from America. You know, they're not coming over here to see the car, so they're putting their trust in you. So I think that's my biggest thing. If somebody puts the trust in you and gives you, whether it be 20,000 or 250,000, it doesn't matter. The same thing for me. And to me, that's very important, if you look after that person. That's definitely.
And like the internet has made the world so small now. You know, that must be a vital part of your business.
The same, believe it or not, Kevin. See, at C&M Motors, I believe now that we could do this job without the showroom and all that, because internet based has got like that, where you might have had 20 people coming in a day looking at the cars. But now it's actually better, because you don't have the time and the amount of staff to have that, to deal with 20. Well, now if somebody rings from the internet, looks on the internet, phones you, they know already kind of what they're after. So it actually helps our job. But you're totally right, Kevin, the internet has completely changed things. Good and bad, I suppose, but truthfully, very good for us.
Yeah, and like David, maybe from your point of view, like the internet thing, as Marty said there, if somebody goes to the effort of getting in contact, you're probably 50% of the way there to making the sale, maybe more. Like, do you feel that's a good bonus as well?
Yeah, it was. We probably take more photographs than anybody does of any other stock. Somebody's nearly ringing us and they know every single detail about the car, both inside and outside, paperwork's photographed, its history can be accessed and stuff. So people are accessing for our online platform for advertising. They know a lot about the car, so they're actually doing the deal.
Mm-hmm. And like, to find the car, you just need to do your homework before you just buy the car. What's the process going behind that? Like from locating the car to a car landing here to a car leaving here. Wouldn't they just be bring it in, give it a quick wash and send it on?
It's certainly not. To be honest, Marty does it most of the sourcing, so he does. I suppose the big thing when you're buying Rally cars is getting their kilometres, getting the history and stuff. So that the cars come in here, we've got a spec sheet that we do on it. We go around, check signature dates, check seat dates, check paperwork's present, check all them bits and pieces. I was just actually chatting to John there before you come on. One thing we do on all of our cars, it's trivial, like every single car gets the 4 wheels painted and the wheel in the painted. It's just something we do, and I suppose that's Marty maybe coming from the retail background. It just takes it to a whole new level. We got that's amazing. That's the forte also.
Yeah, and like John, from your point of view here, like the cars they have here, like the attention to detail is second to none, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a kid coming into a candy shop, I think, here for me. It's the first time I've come to the facilities, and it's fantastic to see the finish, especially on the two World Rally cars here, the Fabian and the Focus. Every nut and bolt has been taken apart, everything's been refurbished from the ground up, and it's almost like a service to motorsport. Of course, there's an element, I think, of business where you have to make money, but for Marty, you can tell the passion he has for rallying. He's been involved in it for a long time, and these cars, they've gone off and done other rallying in their life, and for someone to take them, put them back to the original, how they're supposed to be, factory livery, everything's like brand new, I think that's to be really appreciated. And one day these cars will probably go into their collection, and they may never. Okay, they might take them to a show, but they'll probably never be rallied in anger again. And for someone to be able to show these cars off and for people to be able to appreciate them in years to come, I think is really cool. Of course, there's other cars as well, like the two Escorts behind us. They're more, let's say, for the modified Escort here, something a bit different. I think that's really cool as well. Is that there is a big selection of types of motorsport cars available here. You've got your R5 cars that people are buying, they want to use them. You've got these, the classic Escort here, maybe someone might use it, but they might just have it for keepsake. The two WRC cars here, they're maybe more for show, so there's a good selection. And also with the parts, as David said, there's a lot of effort that goes into making sure that they know what they have, what they can offer their customers. And yeah, it's very cool to see, and I think it's brilliant that they're doing it.
Yeah, and like Marty, do you almost feel like the weight of history? Maybe a bit dramatic, but they putting the Focus back into its original livery, getting the Skoda back to factory fresh again. Do you get a sense of history that you want to have that car back as the way it was whenever Diddy Oriole was driving, or Tony Gadameester or whoever was stepping into the car?
100%. The one thing that I've always loved, obviously, is the Mark II and stuff. When you have people like, obviously, who actually do business here, was like First Alert Alarms, which is Frank Kelly, and Frank's known all over the world, but a great fella too, and a great family. And when I was always driving Mark IIs, I was always watching, why can't I drive like Frank? I just realised I wasn't bloody good enough and wasn't as nuts as him. But again, real good people, and that's what obviously I started off. I bought my first Mark II Escort off Ken Graham, and Ken was lying fit in the bushwhacker, in the car. And that car was 3,000 pounds. And Big Robbie McGurk and me went down to look at the car. We looked at it, seen it, and I bought it. And I just got back at that on £3,000, we'll say 20 years ago approximately, to where things are now. But from Escorts, as John has said, we built this Escort, Peter Bennett and Stefan, who would have worked for Barry Den, done all the fabrication. We got a very good shell. We fabricate to high standard. We spent over a year to 16 months building this car because I went round to rallies, looked at Escorts of what I liked, what I didn't like, and I always would have a way good in there. Can't do it with my hands, but know what way things are. And Al Stewart done the wiring. What a great man! What a great man! So helpful to me and advised me. And I says, spend what you have to spend and make it the best it can be. For example, launch control, traction control on that car. We Mark 1 Escort behind you. We got that car in from Belgium, and it came. And if you've seen the car, and if you see the pictures now, which you can go on our website at CNM Motorsport.com, and you'll see all the restoration pictures. But to see it now in the Roger Clark, it's not a Roger Clark car, but it is a proper historic left-hand drive Mark 1. But to see it in its library now and the way it's done. But again, young Peter Bennett, a young fella, who is such a good lad. And with utmost respect for young Peter, but he'd do anything for me, and I'll do the same for him. But the help, for such a young person, because you know yourself, Kevin, a lot of young people today, they don't want to get out of bed. But this young lad, I'm telling you, he has great hands in him and deserves all the plaudits that he hopefully gets from restoring this Mark 1, building this Mark 2 with the help of Stefan and Alan. We're very lucky. We have a lot of good people. And our restorations, we have Ronan McCrory, which is RMC. Ronan is nothing but a gentleman, in my opinion. A great lad, 100%, so easy to work with. But me and him had it off from day one, and he would ring me every day and say, Marty, this isn't right. I just say, why are you ringing me? Just fix it, no matter what it costs, because there's no point doing half a job, Kevin. And the same Ronan, for example, done the Skoda, as you say, after the oil, like the sea did the oil, Yank Pecky, all these brilliant drivers, Matthew Wilson, and with Ronan, we restored this car. We spent approximately £100,000 on this car. But every day Ronan was ringing and saying, this wee bit's not right. And I said, Ronan, would you just go in there? But Marty, that's £1,500. I'd say, see, can you deal with M-Sport, get her 14, will you? and again, the lads at M-Sport were very helpful too, because they did. Ian especially helped me source a lot of bits and get bits made. So if you get on well with people and have respect for what you're doing, I think personally they always want to help you. And we're such a good team. On our modern R5s, just as an example, we have Adam, who's a part rally team, and Peter would be well enough known. Adam would probably slightly better known, but he would run Declan Boyle, he runs Michael Boyle, runs good lads like Mark Downick, all good drivers. But Adam to me is a real good lad too, and he will be more than helpful to us too. Every time we ring him, because as David had said earlier on about parts, we're only learning all this, and there's so many parts, it's hard. But Adam's a good lad, and before every car is sold, it goes to Adam and it gets completely serviced, completely checked over, the best we can. The best we can. So your answer to that is it's all about having good people to be able to do the work, and that's what I think.
And like David, I can still get round the head that, the likes of the Focus and the Fabia and that are already kind of considered like history. It is quite mad, but to get these cars back to that condition, like Showroom or like factory fresh, and then the likes of, Fiesta R5 or whatever, that's been shaken with Adam Platt. These cars will be in the future. The next generation will look at these cars and think these were the ultimate car. do you still get the buzz out of going out and seeing a new face that's coming in through the door, or are you sitting or whatever?
Yeah, well, sometimes we Marty have conversations, and I would say I can't believe that's taken a year, or it's taken a year and a half, and I would think, as a business point of view, it's a lot of downtime, dead money and stuff like that. But then when you see them rolling through the door, and there's something they got there, my desk just across the way, every day I'm selling cards, I'm looking into the back of these cars here and stuff, and coming from the rally background.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And like Marty, one thing I suppose you've been involved in these last few years has been sponsoring. Not other cars, but guys coming up through the sport. The likes of John here. Do you feel that that's helping your business? Like, is it getting the name out there?
Well, can I be honest? It probably is in that respect, but I don't do it for that reason. The reason why I've done sponsorship this last 25 years, for example, in the 30 that I've been in business, or the 2 or 3 years even before, because I remember how hard it was to get a few pounds. And I also remember all the sponsors who sponsored me ringing them once a year, or even twice a year. I remember that being well hateful, but it had to be done, or these younger people today coming up won't get the chance to rally or take part in whatever sport. Just an example, we have sponsored a young fella in Oma here called Jimmy Lyons. It's not in rallying, but it's motorsport. And we've sponsored young Jimmy from his 6. He's now, I think, 18 turned there. And the lad has been racing in BSBs and the super stock races. He's won Ulster Championships, Irish Championships. It's a bit like a staff member to me, in the sense of we're close. And what's very important to me is when a member of staff also works for me and you see them build a new house or moving to a new house, you love to be able to say, well, look, you work along, not for me, you work with me, and it's lovely to see people moving onwards and upwards and getting on well in life. It's not all about me and my wife Claire, it's about, you have to be good to people. If you're good to people, it does come back to you. The sponsorship thing is something, maybe we do too much. My accountant would say we do too much. John beside me, might say you don't do enough. You mightn't do enough. But John, for example, has come on this approximately a year ago, and we've been speaking. And I didn't know John very well, but I always had a great interest in his career. I think he's one of them young lads who has an unbelievable talent. And if you ever watch his in-car cameras, or you ever watch him in ERC, we know, not C&M Motorsport, certainly not, but young John and all the good people, especially in Northern Ireland, where we live, have contributed to John. And without that, I would say John would admit himself really that he wouldn't be where he is today. This young lad here is a European champion. And to have a European champion, and we have again, like I said, young Jamie, who's Ulster champion, Irish champions, it's lovely to be able to contribute. Hey, you don't have to win everything, but it's lovely who somebody's got so much passion for what they do that you're helping them
to achieve their dream.
1,000,000%. Because, example, my mother and father helped me unreal. Unfortunately, my mother passed away on 21st of January 2016. My father passed away on the 7th of February 2016. So within 2.5 weeks. But that certainly hit home and made you realise, obviously when you don't have somebody or something, but it made me realise that there's certainly more to life than money. But I'm helping people, something I always would try and do no matter what. But obviously the amount of money it takes, I think John will say this, to do it. We were actually having a good discussion about this earlier, and he says, Marty, instead of what you give me this year, any chance of multiplying that by 5 this year? But I had very quickly under the seat, so I did. And John will elaborate a bit more on that. But the thing that I love the most is that even though we love motorsport, we have motorbike young Jimmy, we have John, who, as I say, is only from this last year, who is a great lad, a brilliant lad, and deserves, in my opinion, a chance. Most
So,
definitely, he
yeah.
has proved that.
Mhm.
If he hasn't proved it, yes, a couple of years he might have had a wee crash on the last day and different wee things. But look what he's done this year,
Yeah.
and he never give up.
No.
And that's the people I like, the people who never give up. Because if I was to give up, though,
You wouldn't be where you are today.
definitely not.
No.
We also sponsor Aaron Johnson. Aaron's a great lad. He's been friends with us for a long, long time, friends with my family. But the thing is, Aaron's very lucky. It was me that, by him sitting with me, he got to sit with Solberg. As I told him, he sat with me, and
You were the lunch pot.
was it the Lakelands? It was the first day I had my WRC Fiesta, and we sat, and I remember getting out the 26 overall going, I am rubbish. But it was the first day I'd ever done left-hand drive in the forest. But I remember after it, very quickly, after it sent him, me and you do this year and do this. We all agreed whenever, about 3 or 4 days later, he rang me and says, "You're not going to believe it, kid." And I says, "What, kid?" And he says, "So what drugs are wrong, man?" I says, "Seriously?" I says, "I must have seen this in the lake." So every time we see, speak, whatever the situation is, I always say, I was a person like you now, don't you forget about me. And now I speak to Peter and Oliver at times now and I always tell them that they owe me, like the football team, an agent now. So we always have a wee laugh. So that's, I think, no, as you said, with the sponsor, look, it's very important. I would sponsor MMA and sponsor different things. But look, it's hard to do it all, but you have to try and help. And that's, if you don't help people, so why do they get the chance? Yeah, that's just something.
Yeah, and like John, like Marty was saying there, sponsorship is enabled. We all know how expensive motorsport is. Like it takes guys like Marty to get you to where you are today. We know we've said it before. You are one of the best talents to come off this island in years. Like you need that money. You need that and more money along with it to keep moving on.
Yeah, you need that support. It takes a lot of budget to rally at the highest level, whether that's ERC, WRC, even at home to do R5 stuff's very expensive. So unless you've got your own business or your own wealth behind you, it's hard to make it to the top level what you're aiming for. So you do have to rely on people like Marty to help you out and get behind you. It's not just the finance though, it's the feeling that someone wants to help you out. I think that gives you a fire in your belly too, because you have to perform not only for yourself then, but someone's put their hard-earned money in behind you to allow you to compete, so you want to do it for them as well, and that's something that I really like. Motorsport is very hard to get sponsorship for. It's not like the 90s and early 2000s where you had cigarettes and alcohol and everything. The opportunities are very hard. So, you really need those people like Marty and my other sponsors who have a passion for rallying. 9 times out of 10, the sponsorship you get for motorsport is because someone's got a passion for cars. They like rallying. They may have done it when they were younger. It's all about trying to create connections. And as Marty said, I was aware of Marty and he was aware of me, but we never really crossed paths. And I think it was actually I had my fundraiser in the Mayfly for Greece Junior WRC finale in 2022, and Marty came down. He helped out. Financially, had a good night too, from what I remember, Marty. It was a bit of a late one. But that got the ball rolling with our relationship, and I think there's a genuine mutual respect in what Marty does with his business, and now he's ventured into the motorsport side of things. It's something that I think is very, very cool, and that I really have an interest in. And then on my side, through the rallying is really something that I have a passion for. I want to achieve things. So it's nice that I can take someone like Marty on that journey and provide a bit of coverage in return. So I think we'll have to get you maybe to a rally next year, Marty. Get you strapped into the passenger seat maybe. But yeah, it's I appreciate anyone who helps me out, especially Marty. He doesn't have to help me out, but it's thanks to him that I'm able to do the ERC this year and win the championship. You know, the last 2-3 rallies, the budget wasn't there, and I messaged Marty, can you do something to help me? And he, straight away was able to offer me something that made a massive difference. So
Yeah, because like that's what I was about to say. We've always said that, you have the best talent, but there's never getting the stars to align. This year, the stars have aligned. You have, M Sport Poland has provided you with the car, Marty and guys, and give you, the pound of money to make it happen. And you have produced the goods. Do you get a feeling of validation from that?
Yeah, I think every driver does it for a different reason. I think addiction is the biggest part. It's you're always chasing that feeling, the rush, whether that's how it feels on the stage. I think a big part of it is just if I can nail a stage, you get into this rhythm of rally, is what I like to call it. It's subconscious. You just listen to the co-driver calls and you get into a rhythm and you get lost in it. And if you get that feeling and then you get to the end of the stage and you've beaten your nearest rival or you've set a time that's really close to the Rally 2 cars, as we were doing this year, it gives you that buzz. So yeah, it's all about just the passion and wanting to do it. And yeah, I went on a bit of a tangent now. I can't remember the question, but yeah, it's very, very nice to be rallying that level. That's what I want to keep doing. But of course, the hard part is the lack of opportunities in the sport. I mean, it's a brilliant sport, but there's no getting away from it. It's hard to make a career out of it. You could probably count on 2 hands the amount of drivers who do make a full-time career out of it. But you have to aim for that, and I've actually really enjoyed being able to just even do the development work with the Rally 3 car, to be able to drive with M Sport Poland. They run what I feel is almost like a works team. The guys, the mechanics, they build the cars, they develop the car, they go to the development tests. So they've got an interest, they're passionate, they want to make the car as fast as possible. When you turn up to the rally, everyone's in the same direction. Everyone knows what their job is. They want the most speed out of the car. So yeah, even to do that, I feel like that's a nice step to have taken.
Because you're providing input to make the car faster, to make the car better.
Yeah, and that's something that I could have only dreamed of doing 5 years ago. So to be able to do it is really good.
So Marty, if you hear what John was saying, about that passion for the sport, wanting to do better and to keep driving on, does that music to your ears, I suppose?
100%. I'm very lucky that I'm in a certain position. I'm not in a position to bring John to WRC, right? To WRC. I'm not in that position. But I genuinely feel, if you look at the drivers that have come out of Ireland, poor Craig, God rest him, what a year for his poor family, and unreal. But Craig loved what he done. Then you have Chris Mick. Chris is a legend, in my opinion. I watch, all you have to do is watch Chris in Mexico and go, what the hell? I spoke to Chris yesterday. He's in Caroline to do the rally. The stage was cancelled last night. I'm not sure, but hopefully it's on today. But we sponsored Chris as well, because we get on very well, not just with Chris, but his brother Barry. And we sold them a Super 1600 car that Chris did before, and the passion that the family have, and just how good the people. Big Robbie McGurk always told me the stories about Sydney, the data, and Chris was telling me about putting the colours in for next weekend of CIL 9999, if you remember. And his father, who hasn't been overly well. But these people, I've heard all these stories, a lot from Wesley and Robbie with going to rallies. And again, when you get a bit older, all that stuff it's important. But in reference to John, I want to be there to help anybody, and I know John totally respects it, and I can only do so much as he will know. But I think when you look at Chris, what he's achieved, Craig, what he's achieved, God rest him, and Paul Nagel, and you look at James now, these are all people of Ireland where we live, and it's great to be able to help and support the people. It's brilliant for the people in Portugal, America, whatever, but we live here in Northern Ireland, and as far as I'm concerned, why not help and try, and there should be far, far more drivers and navigators, in my opinion, WRC. Ireland is one of the biggest as a whole of rally, and the passion is unreal.
Fanatics here.
So fanatical, like the wheel, so in my opinion, let's try and help a young person like John. If there's anybody out there, all I'll say is, and there's a lot of good businesses in Ireland, and hey, I would just love to try and help him get to the next level. He's a European champion now in Rally 3, but would it not be fantastic to get him in the WRC 2 or something like that now and get that step up? Because I honestly believe that he's got the talent to do it. I have I have two sons, and they're very good at MMA, but I see Damien, who we sponsor too, son, so I wouldn't call that sponsoring, I would call that giving. But Damien has only been at MMA for 3 years and only fighting for 2 years, 3 months. Fought for Ireland and Prague, Italy, and as a father, how proud. So not only though with my sons, I want to do it with John and different people, but it's great to be able to help, and I think that's very important. But maybe you only see that when you get a wee bit older too, you know what I mean? But I think that's very important. I think David, we're very lucky with. You asked a question earlier, how many people work in CNM Motorsport? There's 3 employed, but there could be 15 that we know and that we work with on a weekly, daily basis. And these people are so important to our business. And again, without them, I couldn't do, or we couldn't do, and without us, John couldn't do what he. So life's about circles and helping the bit.
What you put in, you get out.
90%. It's not all about money. It's sometimes you have to help too. When you're younger, you work so hard. When you get married, you want to buy a house. It's hard to do it, so you have to save and save and save. Then you get the house, you have children, blah blah blah. But for example, my own son's got 2 big titles now, and I support him in any way I can, but I stay out of it because they tell me where to go. So John, not being my son, he talks nicer to me, and I can get on better with him. So what I'm saying is, I'll sponsor him because I want to. And I love to see people, as I said. I can't say that enough, to be honest, and I think that's where more businesses, truthfully, I wish and would hope.
Encourage others to get
encourage others, and maybe give a young lad like this a chance, because it is difficult.
For sure. And we'll start wrapping things up now. Like you see the fantastic cars you have here. Like, is there one that got away, or is there one that you had and you sold and you're going, oh, why did they ever sell that? You look at the way the market's gone now.
I am so happy in reference one car. The car I bought was in Silverstone auctions. I remember it very well, and David and I laughed about it. I had a Skoda bought, and the man let me down the day before. And young Stuart, who also works for us, which I haven't put a lot in, is a fantastic lad too. Young Stuart does all our marketing, and I think that's something I have forgot about. Young Stuart is a brilliant lad, 21 years of age here on Thursday, so happy birthday, Stuart. But a great cub who drives 78 miles coming to work and going home a day. and he markets all our stuff, and he's fantastic at it. But he was working with me on getting the Skoda deal. So the Skoda deal fell through, and he says to me, he says, "What about the Legacy in Silverstone?" And I says, "You're right." I says, "Have you put our name in so that we can bid online?" So I haven't a clue about that stuff. So of course the young people, Stuart, he done it, and we put it on at 9:30 the next morning, whatever. We waited, and we bought the Colin McRae British Championship, won in Legacy, and that car is, in my opinion, unreal. And I have to say, out of all the cars I bought, that is the car that stands out. But if I had got that Skoda the day before, I couldn't have bought that car because I didn't have the money, because John took it all. Right? So I didn't have the money. So there's things for reasons, isn't there? But the one that I got, as you asked, is definitely the McRae Legacy. And to be honest, I didn't think I was going to get near it, and I can't believe that we bought it for the price we did. And that's been well honest. And that car is not for sale. It's not for sale.
So if I come in here with a blank check and says, "Marty, I want to buy that Legacy," you'd say, "Nope."
If you come in with a blank check, I would put that many knots in front of it that it would bounce. And I'd have to put a stone in it, a big one. No, certainly not at this moment. The one that got away was genuinely, and I wouldn't say I regret that. I don't regret much. You make a mistake, you make it, and that's it. But I suppose we all need money at different times for different reasons. But was the Subaru Group A, Subaru Impreza Group A, that we restored, and it was the first one we ever restored. Was Subaru Group A. It wasn't the worst car; it was a customer's car, but it was Robbie McGurk, unbelievable man. Like Cal was unreal. Plus, a very good friend for 25 years. Robbie restored the car, and Johnny Crozier done the body work on it and done the shell, and Robbie rebuilt it to unbelievable standard, and we had it in here. And I might put a video up actually to show what we had and what did get away, because truthfully I didn't even want to sell it, but Kenny McKenna come on to me and says, "I have a man will buy that." And at that particular time I must have needed like a pound, because when he offered the money I says, "Alright." And that was something. But that is one car that I probably wish that I didn't sell. So, but you can't have everything.
Nope,
you can't have everything, and that's for sure. But no, I don't regret too much now, because if you take a look around and look at what we've got, and also we have Juha Kankkinen's winning Celica Safari Kenya been restored. We've Hyundai i20 WRC been restored, which there's very few of them in the world. We have our Skoda, which you see is restored, and we have our Ford Focus of Matthew Wilson, and we brought that over to Ford to do a full test on it, diagnostics, and we were lucky to get pictures with Matthew and with Malcolm, and the roof signed, and also, no, there's a lot of wee bits. So look, that's what I hope. That's why I get into Rally Sport too, because I wanted to try and start having a bit of a collection. But with the prices today and the money John's looking, I don't expect there's going to be very few.
Well, Marty, John, and David, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to come up here and have a look around and have a chat. That's been much appreciated.
I just want to say, Kevin, thank you very much, and the Krunching Gears, absolutely brilliant. Really, really enjoyed our time speaking to you, and I think everybody else will agree. And thank you very, very much for all your help.
We're going to now have a wee quick look around the FIA WRC and the Focus WRC that's sitting in C&M's showrooms.
So I've Ollie here helping me out here with holding up my cheat sheet as such. So we'll start here at the Skoda WRC. This car debuted in 03, and absolutely at the time it was a step up from the Octavia WRC. Stunning car. Volkswagen Motorsport had a lot of help in the development of the car at the time as well. This car debuted on 03, as I say, driven by the likes of Tony Gardemeister, Didier Oriol, and Jana Passanen, and it then went into private hands where it was owned by Eric Weavers for a while, and then moved on. Eugene Donnelly used it then in Ireland here and claimed the 2009 Irish Tarmac Championship in this car as well. So a really car with loads and loads of history. Spectacular car to this day, and fully now restored back into Skoda Motorsport livery. Ronan McCrory done all the work on this car, and it is a work of art now at the moment. So this car then was built for Henning Solberg to compete in the WRC. Ford Focus 07 at the time, but it was later upgraded to full 08 spec as well too. Another, again, car completed by Ronan McCrory Motorsport as well. Extremely high level of prep on it. The car has actually been returned to M Sport as well, and they have given it their full seal of approval, and Malcolm and Matthew and all have signed the roof of it. Again, absolutely spectacular the way it has been restored to full livery. Matthew Wilson used it in the 2009 season. And also another interesting fact about the car as well too, it was a car that Valentino Rossi used in the RAC Rally as well too. So lots of history with this car here too as well. And again, the attention to detail is second to none. Like when the car's been back to M Sport and they've given it their full blessing as well too, it says all about it.
Another really interesting thing that I thought when I was walking about the showroom was that there's a Mark 1, a Mark 2 Escort, and then the final incarnation, the Escort WRC, you know, the farewell of the Escort to Rally, and to see it in Safari spec as well too, you know, which was unusual as well. And then a Vatanen car on top of that as well, that just really put the shivers up you. So yeah, so we'll enjoy now the three incarnations of the Escort.
This is the stunning Mark 1 that Marty references in the podcast as well. Absolutely stunning. The car come from Europe and now back to full FIA historic spec. An absolutely stunning build as well. As you mentioned, it was done by Peter Bennett Motorsport as well too. Like for a young guy, Peter, the level and attention to detail here is phenomenal. Done up now in the Roger Clark, Tony Mason colours from the 6 RAC Rally. You know, they went the rally they won, which was, you know, front page news and all at the time. Like that was back when rallying was something special. Like, you know, when you see there like Daily Mirror sponsorship and all on the car, it really is fantastic. And this car, full BDA FIA historic spec. It's an absolute credit to Peter and everyone involved in the build of this car. This is one of the ultimate spec 2.5 litre Class 14 Mark II Escorts. It's just brand new build as well, again by Peter Bennett and one of the guys from then as well, Stefan as well too, who had a hand in the car. 2.5 Millington, producing over 350 brake horsepower. Look at the attention to detail in around the engine bay. Like you could eat your dinner in around there. Like that's just first class. And inside, the car's got all the toys. You know, launch control, sequential box, 6-speed, digital dash, everything set down, built down low for ultimate balance, you know, weight balance and all that then too. Everything, you know, even the trip meter over there on the door, everything, just the attention to detail has been unbelievable. It really is. Lightweight bonnet and boot and all on the car. Just a joy to look at this here. So this, again, the attention to detail, full rigger suspension, 6-speed box, you know, with a 350 brake horsepower, mean and ready for the road. So John, we've got a very special treat here today, I suppose. Get the chance to see this car, not even off the trailer yet here. That's such a treat for us.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I've actually never really seen one of these cars in person before, so it'll be really good to have a look around it and obviously hear that engine start up for the first time will be really cool.
For sure. So maybe you want to pop the door and show us what's inside? Wow.
It's something special, isn't it? Especially in that livery. And I can see a snorkel going over the top of the roof there, which means it's full Safari spec. So yeah, it looks really, really cool.
And like the two names on the side, you know, synonymous with rallying.
Very much so. Ari Vatanen, one of the most famous rally drivers, and Fred Galler, very famous co-driver too. So
And one of our own as well too, we should say.
yeah, definitely a very successful co-driver. So for sure, one of our heroes. And yeah, the car looks really, really nice.
Yeah, like Fred, from Northern Ireland as well, one of those guys that set, opened the door for so many others to go through.
That's it, and we have so many co-drivers from Northern Ireland and Ireland that have made it into the WRC, and yeah, as you say, Fred was one of the ones that sort of pioneered what that was back then.
I like another man that sat with Vatanen too was Terry Harriman too, another guy that was paved the way.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, yeah, sat with some of the most famous drivers in the Group E era. So yeah, I think that was like the ultimate heyday to be a co-driver in the World Championship.
For sure. So John, get in there and fire up.
Sounds nice. It sounds aggressive. A very cool car. Inside you can tell it's a WRC car. You've got the nice sequential shifter here. But it's from an era where the cars were a wee bit more, let's say, rough and ready, a bit more like almost like a tractor, if you know what I mean. And of course, this is Safari spec, so it feels ready to take on anything.
Well, let's go for it.
Let's go.
The Escort Cosworth, this probably is the best sounding anti-lag of the World Rally cars, especially in that period. This was probably an evolution of the Escort Escort Cosworth rather than a completely new design. These were probably some of the last cars built in Borum before the whole Ford Works Ford operation moved to M Sport. So, this really is a little piece of history. And this particular car is the car that Ari Vatanen used in his last podium in the WRC when he took third place in the Safari Rally in '98. Probably should have been second. They had to take a penalty to let his teammate through, Juha Kankinen, but himself and Fred Gallagher took a fine third place overall. The car then was later sold on to a customer in New Zealand, Brian Green, and he only used it very, very sporadically. It has undergone a complete restoration in an Italian company before it made its way here to C&M.
And so, thanks again to the guys there. I say really, really enjoyed that there, myself and Ollie up there last Saturday morning. Also, when we're talking about C&M, two things there we should mention. They sponsored Chris Meek, who won the Carlisle Historic Rally there at the weekend too. Fantastic run. First time in the Escort in don't know how many years. And then also Aaron Johnson in the Central European Rally coming up this weekend, Connor. We're running for the penultimate round of the WRC at this stage. Title not decided yet, but it's certainly looking as if it's going back to Finland again this year.
Yeah, it's looking like it. Like you could certainly say Callie's got one hand on the trophy, but anything could happen, and Elvin could just steal in there between this round and then the final round in Japan. There's still all to play for. You can't rule Elvin out at this stage.
No, and I suppose the good thing about the Central European Rally is it's new to everybody as well too. So that gives so many more opportunities.
It does, absolutely. Listen, it levels the playing field for everybody. Now, I mean, on Shakedown today, Thierry was quickest, followed by Callie. So, Callie's stamping his mark there. But, it's unknown. And I think the weather could play a part as well. Forecast is a bit mixed. So we all know what happens on wet, slippy tar. And anything could happen.
Yeah. Yeah, and Oitanic, the last time you spoke to Jamie, they're targeting 2 more ones before the end of the season, so they must be getting in there feeling fairly confident as well too.
Yeah, well, look, the Puma has improved on tarmac. Oit was third quickest on the Shakedown as well, so they're thereabouts. I suppose it'll just depend on the stages how much is about top end speed. If they're flat, wide open, then the Puma might struggle a little just for that extra couple of brake horsepower. But other than that, if it's down to wet, slippy, with a lot of pollution on the roads, no better man than Tanak.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And there's quite a bit of Irish interest as well as Aaron out there this weekend as well too, with a few others.
Absolutely. Listen, we've got Josh and Fuzzy are out there. Eamon Boland and MJ are out in the C3 again. Great to see them back out in the tarmac. They really have settled into that C3 and are loving the Citroen.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got Connor Wilson and Sean Marsh, tackling the event as well.
And Connor Wilson was on the podcast there a couple of weeks ago too, and he was really looking forward to it at that time. So for such a guy with such a limited experience, this is going to be the rally of a lifetime.
It is, and he's competing in a Fiesta Rally 4, so it'll be very interesting to see, how he gets on and how, as he beds into the event, what his times are like, in comparison to the other Rally 4 class. But, should be good. Nice, clean tarmac event for him, and, with a very high hopes.
Yeah, for sure. And then closer to home, we have the Fastnet on this weekend. The title decider for between Callum and Josh. We've seen this year, the battles they've had. And no doubt the Fastnet's going to be the latest installment of that as well.
Look, it's been nip and tuck, between the national championship and the Irish Tarmac Championship. The two of them have fought it out on the lanes and the roads of Ireland. 10th of a second here. It's just been amazing. For Callum, obviously he wants to do the double, his first chance to do it. Josh, he's not, he's well experienced, well seasoned. Yeah. Exactly. He wants to retain the title. So it'll be very interesting. And I think this is the first time, since 2018, it's gone down to the wire. It's actually, the final event will decide it.
Yeah. This could go down to the last corner of the last stage of any of the events this year has been nothing to go by.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And another interesting entry on that is Eamon Kelly is seated, I think, number 5 in the polo. So I'd be very curious to see how Eamon, he's got a lot of experience under his belt this year competing internationally. So it'll be interesting to see, how much it's upped his game, how much speed he's gained from, the experience of competing abroad.
Yeah, and as well as that too, another MI Rally Academy guy is Patrick O'Brien there as well too, we know Patrick's pace on gravel and we've seen his pace on tarmac in Galway. But he is, another year, with all that MI Academy experience, he's round in WRC and he's a couple of ERC outings as well too. So interesting to see what these guys bring to the party. That's for sure. Absolutely.
Listen, they'll be in the mix, all right, definitely.
Yep, definitely. And then also the finale of the BRC this weekend too as well. The Cambrian Rally, and again, BRC, maybe not huge numbers, but there's a junior British title to be decided there, and it's going to come this side of the Irish Sea one way or another.
It is, yeah. Huge fight, a lot of pressure on Kyle White and Kyle McBride. One of the two will clinch this. So it's who can keep the head, who can have a clean event, and who can rack up, the stage wins.
Mm-hmm. And a good few other Irish competitors over there competing the weekend as well too.
Absolutely. We've young Jack Brennan, there's Keelan Grogan, we've Aoife Rafter, he's back out again, we've Jack Harris, and then we've Alan Carmichael. Now he's already clinched the national BRC championship, but he's back out again then with Claire Williams.
Mm-hmm. And one other then is Hannah Davison is sitting on with Gary Pearson as well, and I get a chance to catch up with Hannah, and we've got the whole story about her her Scottish Rally Championship campaign, and also her thoughts ahead of the Cambrian this weekend. Hannah, we spoke to you earlier in the year and you just celebrated your first one in the SRC. It's been a busy year since.
Yeah, it's been really busy. That feels like a lifetime ago. It's been really busy. It's been an amazing year. Didn't know what to expect at the start of this year. Didn't really have anything lined up 2 weeks prior to the first round of the SRC, and then it all just kind of took off, and I suppose some of it you could call the jock effect, and people start noticing you whenever you're getting those sort of results. And I've had some amazing opportunities, and I feel really, really lucky. And even up, October I didn't have much on, and then now I've been out and did really well in Mull, and finally SRC last weekend, out with Gary Pearson in the Cambrian next weekend, and maybe a few more events before the end of the year, hopefully. So yeah, it's been really busy, and I hope it continues that way.
Yeah, and like what a year yourself and Joe have had in the Scottish Rally Championship. Like, you know, maybe a championship that maybe sort of a wee bit on below the radar, but I think this year has really brought it back to the fore again.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been so competitive this year, and whenever the SRC rounds have mixed with rounds that are in the BTRD as well, or you know, BTRD people come up, or you know, even British Championship level, and you know, the pace is fantastic, and I think it has turned a few heads this year, and maybe a few people will be looking at it for next year. And yeah, it's been really good. You know, it's a lovely championship to be a part of. All the committee members and people involved with the championship are so friendly, and they're all, you know, they're so approachable. It's not like a kind of closed off thing. And yeah, they're all fantastic in the work they put in, and they make it really professional, and all their sort of post event videos and everything like that. It's just fantastic, and a real pleasure to be a part of, and fun to be around.
Yeah, and like fun to be around Jock Armstrong. Like the two things that sort of go hand in hand. Like, you know, so committed on the stages, but really seems to enjoy himself off the stages as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he takes everything really seriously, and you know, we put a lot of work into our notes, and we analyze everything after events and everything like that. And you know, he is so, you know, experienced at what he's doing. You know, his experience really shone through last weekend on the Carlisle stages. The first stage, unfortunately, hit a big rock, and that was basically the end of our championship. That's what ended it. Although we continued on to finish the event, but it was only through Jock's experience. He knew what happened, you know, on the bottom arm and stuff like that, and drove around it. And you know, there was a few people who maybe said at service that, you know, maybe he shouldn't continue, and you know, X, Y, and Z. But Jock carried on. He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was dealing with, and was able to drive around it. And yeah, credit to him. His experience is amazing, and I've learned so much from him this year. And like, I've been able to put it into other people that I've been driving with, and it's just been an absolute pleasure to co-drive for him. I still pinch myself every time I sit beside him.
Yeah, and like, you know, I suppose like that's, you know, the wise old head that he has on the shoulders. Like, yes, you know, the championship was probably over, but you never know what happens to the other guys. You know, like, so you know, it's never over till it's over.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, going into the last stage, I'm pretty sure the results were pretty patchy because it's Kildare, but
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure going into the last stage that Michael Binney was leading the SRC section of the rally, which if Michael had have won and David had come second or third or whatever, I would still have won the co-drivers championship. But sadly, Michael ran out of road in the last stage, and David won. So yeah, I think, and John Wink was also up there putting in fantastic times. So, you know, really proud of John over the weekend. And they had a fantastic event. And but yeah, ultimately it went to David, and tough as it was at the time to take after leading the championship all year, right, literally down to the last stage. I think it's just testament to what a fantastically competitive championship that it is.
Yeah, because like that, you know, that, as you say, like, you know, the experience that you've gained this year, like, you know, how much you've developed over the past year as well. Like, that's only going to benefit you in the long term.
Yeah, I mean, well, I started off the year, I did the Malcolm Wilson Rally with Gary Pearson because Dan Barrett, his regular co-driver, wasn't available. And I'm sitting with Gary again in the Cambrian on the last weekend because Dan's out in Central European Rally. And I hope that Gary sees a big improvement in me and how I go about things. And, you know, I definitely feel as if, you know, I've really improved. I think you should always feel as if you've improved even from your last event, never mind from this time last year. Because if you don't, you're missing something, you're not doing something right. And I think a big eye opener for me was this year when I went to Mull. Last year when I went to Mull, it was the first time I competed on the event, although I'd been going for 9 years. And last year I was so incredibly nervous, and I was, you know, I wasn't performing well because I was so nervous. I was letting that take over because I just wasn't confident in what I was doing. And this year I went, and I would have to say I surprised myself. I didn't feel any nerves really. I was just so excited and really looking forward to it, really confident in what I was doing. And yeah, I'm really proud of what we achieved in Mull, and Scott did a fantastic job in the Evo. I seem to be the woman for underdog cars and underdog tires.
But sure, everybody loves the underdog, you know. So.
I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, I mean, that for me, was really good to go there and prove myself. No, look, you can do this, you can do it without the nerves. And I always look up to the people like Paul Beaton and people like that. They did it for years and they just look as if they're not even fazed by it. And that's how I genuinely felt this year without trying really. And I hope this weekend on the Cambrian I can do the same and enjoy it and do really well. And I'm really good friends with Gary, and we spend a lot of time through the year working on notes and going to events and different things. And yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and maybe we'll just touch on Mull there. I spoke to Fergus Barlow last week, and I've never experienced the event, but it has become so much bigger than the Mull Rally. It's become like an epic adventure. Is it everything we see? You're more Fergus is, it's his home rally and everyone else, so he has his own stall to set out. But is it everything that we see and more?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, this year was my 10th year attending the event, my second year competing. But I'm slightly biased as well because I got married to Mull. I love it. It's definitely my happy place. I set foot on the island and it's like, so I'm biased as well, but it's a fantastic event. I mean, Richard Crozier does an incredible job at organising that event. It really is the task that he takes on annually to organise that event. I mean, he'll probably be starting to organise it for 2024, I would say, in the next few weeks. And, it's a credit to him, really. It's a fantastic event. So well organised. Stages are just second to none. And the format where you're out rallying at night, out through the day, out rallying at night again, out till all hours. And yeah, it is very, very special. I don't know many people that have been to Mull and not liked it.
Yeah. We touched on it last week. The BRC guys all seem to really love it. It was a completely different challenge for them as well too. So yeah, definitely has to be on the bucket list. So yeah, the last round of the BRC, Gary Pearson in the polo. You talked about how much you've improved throughout this year. Gary really has took to the left-hand drive, to the polo, everything this year. He has developed so much as a driver this year as well. Yeah, definitely. It's been an absolute pleasure to watch his, the amount, I can't stress the amount of work that Gary puts in and all the team put in behind the scenes. It really is a credit to him, and it's just absolutely fantastic on the track rod to see his times there and see all that work paying off. And it really was a pleasure to be part of the team. And Dan with him, and the knowledge and experience and teaching that Dan has brought with notes and everything like that. I'd say if you lifted a set of our notes from the start of this year compared to now, Gary would chuck them in the bin. But it's been fantastic, and I hope that can continue on into the Cambrian and into 2024. And he really is a very, very strong contender, hopefully in the 2024 season, in whatever championship that might be. Yeah, because he seems to be one of them kind of guys. It doesn't matter where he is. He seems to be happy to go and compete anywhere and be on equal terms with anybody. He's no fear that way. Yeah, no, he's loved it this year, and I mean, he just loves the polo. I'm really excited to have a go on the polo. I've never been in polo R5. So yeah, can't wait for that. And Melvin and the team are just absolutely fantastic. Such a good team and such a pleasure to work with. So yeah, it's going to be a really good weekend, and hopefully not too wet in North Wales. We don't know about that. And then this year, is it 19 rallies you think you've done so far this year, and took you to the brunt of England, Scotland, Wales, and an event here in Ireland where for after as part of the MI Rally Academy team as well. Yeah, it was so good to come home. I haven't competed at home since the Circuit of Ireland in, I don't know, 2013 maybe. It was a very long time ago. But it was a pleasure to come over and be back at home, and I forgot how laid back Irish rallying was. I rocked up to the first control, which was park for me out, and there wasn't even a clock, and I was like, okay. Is this how it's going to roll, kind of thing? Yeah. It's different, but it was really, really good. And Aoife is just fantastic. She's so determined, so driven, and so committed in the car. She really, really, really impressed me. There was a really, really bumpy section down a big long straight.
and it was a horrible, nasty section. The car kept stepping out, but she just pulled another gear and got on with it. She was just fantastic. She's and a pleasure to be around. I mean, we had such a laugh, and yeah, she's a good girl, and I think she'll go far.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, because like you got a wee taste of the whole MI Rally Academy, like what the work that's going on behind the scenes, like the way them the guys and girls are going into the event, the prep that they're doing before they get to the event, and the level that they're going to be at is phenomenal.
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, Motorsport Ireland are just doing an impeccable job at the minute. It's really amazing and lovely to watch. It's great to see everyone's progress, and Josh, and everyone's just going up and up and up the levels, and that the work, if you don't put in the work pre-event, you can't expect to be good on event. And that is, you can, I think it was Rory Kennedy said once, you can win an event from behind a desk, and that's very, very true. On event and off event.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, and I suppose, and before we finish, like the disappointment last weekend, you didn't claim the title, but there was a nice moment for yourself and Jock in the car. You spotted your father at the side of the stage.
Yeah, it was lovely. I didn't know he was going to be on the stage. So I just kind of spotted him at the last minute, and that was just wonderful. I didn't know at that point that I'd won or lost the championship, and that made my day. It was just amazing, and I mean, we nearly went in the ditch at that corner, but watch my in-car on Facebook, I can hear me saying, not here, not here. And then it was from there, I think it was about 3 minutes to the end of the stage, and I could just tell that Jock was just loving every minute, and he was just chucking it in and just loving driving the car. And I really, really tried to soak it all in, and because moments like that are really special. I think the other moment like that for me this year was getting to do stages in the dark at the Galloway Hills. So Jock's home forests that he's been in for the past 20, I think that was his 30th Galloway Hills start, so 30 years. And getting to do those stages at night with him, that was just, I remember thinking at the time, you are very, very lucky, Hannah.
Yeah. I think, let's be fair, the Subaru should not have been fighting with the latest technology R5 Rally 2 cars. Like, it's so, outdated in comparison. To get the times and get the pace that you were at this the whole year is just phenomenal. It shows the talent of the guy. And like, if he's competed in the Galloway Hills for 30 times, he's no spring chicken.
No, yeah, the old Subaru, she does well. But yeah, and I mean, we've had fantastic support this season. We've had MRF tires, and they've been fantastic. Jerry at MRF and all the boys, they've just been fantastic. And yeah, I think we've had kind of, Jock had a new co-driver. He had the old Scooby, MRF tires. Everyone was at the start of the year. Everyone's like, oh, what's Jock doing? But we got the results. We have 2 wins, and we were winning the championship all year. So yeah, I don't think there's anything to be sniffed at there.
Definitely not. Well, Hannah, we look forward to your next adventure. It's a few 6 or 8 weeks before the end of the year. There could be a few more adventures in 23, but no doubt there'll be plenty more in 24.
I hope so. Yeah. I'm hoping to maybe get out to Europe maybe next year and do some bits out there. We'll see. Apart from that, I don't have anything lined up. I'd love to be back in the Scottish Championship, but we shall see.
Fantastic to hear from Hannah, and certainly I think it's a watch this space. There's more to come there before the end of the year. And just before we move off, just with regard to speaking to the Cambrian, one entry that certainly jumped out for me is Max McRae and Cameron Fair. Max is out for the first time in an R5. So it'll be really curious to see how he gets on, what sort of times he sets. Probably good to maybe see how he gets on, compared to Tom Cave. And no pressure on Max. Like, he's coming from a rallying dynasty, between Jimmy and Alistair and obviously Colin. I'm sure there's a lot of pressure on the shoulders, but it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. Okay. And another person I'd be very interested to see how he gets on, the Fastnet Rally. We have Eddie Doherty is taking part also in an R5. And Kevin, you had a chance to catch up with Eddie.
Yeah, Eddie's out for the first time, and also in a Skoda this weekend as well too. So Eddie says it's going to take him, he says, hopefully by the middle of next year, I think. I think Eddie's style suits the Skoda, suits four-wheel drive. He's very fast, very smooth. I think he'll be on the pace much sooner than that there, but interesting now to see how he gets on. So I think we'll hear from Eddie. So Eddie Doherty, modified Tarmac champion in 2023. Fantastic year you had, really.
Yeah, I suppose, Kevin. It's been a great year. We started the year with probably a bit of an opinion of just getting through the first few rounds and seeing where we're at compared to the rest of the boys. But no, look, in the long run, it worked out well for us. We kept on the road, and our pace improved on each event. So no, happy to get there.
Yeah, and like toward, like as you say, maybe at the start of the year, you maybe a wee bit of an unknown quantity in the modify. But with every round, and especially towards the end of the year, the pace was really there. Like you were consistent throughout the year, but the pace was there from you that you were able to push on. And like Cork and a couple of rallies, and you had great results overall as well.
Yeah, look, I suppose Killarney International was really our turning point. Really, I think we were able to pick up the pace a small bit more there. It's probably a rally. Well, it's definitely my favourite rally of the year, and we were able to push on. It's probably the stages I know like the most, and no, I think we finished. I think it was 7th overall and 2nd in the national to Gary Kieran. So from then on, like, we really pushed on. We went into Indicate or to Leash, then we won that. Ravens Rock then was 2 weeks after that, and we were leading the two-wheel drive up until a puncture in the last 2 kilometres. So look, that's the joys of it as well. But overall, no, great year. Back to Southern Four Championship then as well. So no, happy out.
Very good, very good. And then, at the weekend there just passed, we had the Tarmac Championship Awards, and like a great night to look at things.
Yeah, no, look, it was a great night. It was great to have everyone together, especially, say, on my own behalf. I had a parent that health issues throughout the year then as well, so that he got the all clear there last Tuesday. So no, it was great. It was a great weekend by all, and really enjoyed it. And great to have family and friends there.
Yeah, and like Gary McAvoy from McAvoy Motorsport, sponsored the modified championship this year as well too. Like, so that has kind of brought a better focus on the modified as well.
Yeah, look, I think like it's always the same. I think like the modified is where people want to watch and want to be, and I think look, I know I'm probably after making the move to an R5, but I think even still when I see like an S-Car coming, I probably get a bit of goosebumps as well at the same time. So no, look, it's a great championship, and we really thoroughly enjoyed it. And the group of lads that are around with you as well, the crack you have, and it's a great championship, and I definitely recommend it to anyone at all. Like, especially the group of lads that are around you that will help you no matter what situation. I think the start knock out, my car was up on its side. West Cork, there was someone else's car up on its side. Look, it's great.
Yeah, I think in what other sport would you get it? That isn't that fantastic thing about rallying, and especially Irish rally. Every man, wants to win on the stages, but between the stages, the crack's good, and they'll do everything for you as well.
Yeah, look, and I think it really stands out in the modified. And it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, who you think you are, or anything like that. Everyone pulls in together, and no, that's definitely the most enjoyable part for me anyway.
Yeah, and you alluded to there like a change of car. So the Fastnet coming up this weekend. A new Skoda on the way. Have you had a chance to had a drive in it yet? And what's your thoughts really on it?
Yeah, so we had a test there Friday and Saturday morning. They're just gone. Completely different. Trying to get used to the speeding carry around the corner, but that and probably the pace notes, adjusting the pace notes to suit the speed and stuff like that is going to be a big thing for me. But no, really looking forward to the challenge. I think it'll suit my driving style a bit more as well. As like I'm probably a bit more neat and tidier than the rest of the men, but no, really looking forward to the challenge. And I suppose, look, our plan is more for next year, but we wanted to get out at the start of the year or the end of this year to see where we are and what we have to work for in the next couple of months.
Yeah, and like I'm guessing is the school that she left hand drive. Is that Buller? You happy enough to go either side of the car?
Yeah, no, look, it didn't seem too bad last weekend. It didn't seem that much of a difference, really, to be honest. I think with your concentration and you're in it, it's not too bad. Look, I know for sure the times there next weekend might say different, but no, at straight away, I'd say after the first kind of 20, 30K, I felt comfortable. So, no, look, next weekend is just a starting point, and we want to see where we're at, and hopefully we can push on and make changes from there on.
Yeah, and like we've seen how successful the Skoda is on WRC and the ERC routes. Like up until this year, it's never really clicked here in Ireland. Like Patrick O'Brien's probably been the guy that has made it more prominent here. Like they are a fantastic car.
Yeah, look, that's really what stands out to me was if you look at the ERC or WRC rounds in the last 2 or 3 years, the Skodas, you could probably say dominated it a long time. I think Dirtfish as well have a little right up there, and I think has the most wins, the most reliability, and for me anyway, just probably in the business we're in as well, that doesn't lie. So it was an easy enough to go, and the car only has 6 rallies done as well at the same time, so it's relatively fresh. So look, it's definitely, I suppose it's probably a bit of a gamble as well. No one's tried it here, and you're probably working by yourself and looking for setups. But look, I'm looking forward to the challenge, and I don't think, well, judging from our tests and other people after driving it, it doesn't seem to be too far away. So no, looking forward to it.
Yeah, and like whenever you look at something like the Barnum Rally, like a rally that's probably the most similar in characteristics to Irish car. Like they normally they think this year it was 10 out of the first 11 places was all filled by Skodas. So like the capabilities is there.
Yeah, the capabilities are there. I don't think probably the car that we're after getting there now is an Evo model. I think Captain McCourt is the only one that had one here, and I think he only had it for 2 rounds. I think it was Circle of Ireland and Clarny there last year. So I think it's a bit different, say, to the car that Patrick O'Brien would have in geometry and stuff like that as well. Right. So it's completely new, but then again, like the Volkswagen Group, I'm sure the Polo and the Fabia aren't too far away as well in some regards.
Yeah, and like we all know how good the Polo is. So like the Fastnet, like an event that you look forward to.
Yeah, it's definitely it's just to try to get the cobwebs off. To be honest, the car 20 seems like 6 months ago.
It's mad, isn't it? Yeah,
like it's absolutely mad. It feels like I haven't been in a rally car since March. But I suppose it was just the summer was so packed between Donegal, Rock, in the Killy, and that. That's just the way it's feeling. But no, looking forward to just seeing where we're at and see can we adjust throughout the weekend, and by the looks of things, by the weather, that's going to play a massive part on it as well. I'm like I see there's supposed to be massive showers and stuff there as well. So our plan is just to tip around, see what we can do, and try to build on it. We might. I think there's a rally in Yorkshire then the weekend after Clarny, so we might try to do that as well, just to get some mileage up.
Yeah, and the good thing about a national round is it's the 3 stages done the 3 times, so you can go out and do your 3 stages. If you feel like there's any wee changes you can make, you can try them to see if they make a difference over the 3 stages. So that's probably a good test.
Yeah, the national rounds. I know I done the Tarmac Championship this year, but I really enjoyed the national rounds that I did do. It was probably a bit more laid back, and it wasn't as intense as what the Tarmac is. As you said, setup changes and stuff like that would be a massive help to us. And if we get around on one loop, like you're not too far back around, and you can start changing stuff. So no, it'll definitely help us.
Excellent. And like we see how how fast the 2 top guys, they are the top guys in Tarmac Championship. So like for you, it's probably you're not going to be on that ultimate pace straight away, but even to be able to see where you're at and and relevance to them, I suppose is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, look, it's just as I said. I think I said to Ryan Lochran there, like on Friday or Saturday, I said, it's grand, and how do you feel comfortable? But unless you have a time and a clock beside you, you don't know where you're going. So that's the big thing for us, is try to put a time on the board somewhere there. And if we're 20 seconds off, well, at least we know we're 20 seconds off, and we know what we have to work to. So we were the same at the start of this year. I think Kevin was taking 15-20 seconds of stage off us in Galway, and then by the time Clarny came, we were there, not far away, like except for his madness in our ground. But other than that, all was good.
Yeah, and like, what is your initial impression of the Skoda? Like, we keep, the people we talk to on here, they keep saying about, these are 5 cars. You never really get, there obviously, yes, there's a limit to them, but there's so, you compared to an Escort, there's so much more there, like for especially corner speeds and all that, probably outright acceleration and things like that. The Escort probably takes it, but it's the corner speed, the braking capability of these cars.
Yeah, like for me, it's really how it handles jumps. and just choppiness. I couldn't get over it there on Saturday. We were on some bit of a choppy road, and the whole way through it, just don't lift and she'll take it. Like, it's just absolutely like amazing on what way they can take it. Corner speed as well. They're very forgiving as well. Compared to an Escort, if an Escort snaps, it snaps. While an R5, I think you can just keep in the boot and she'll pull her way out of it as well at the same time. So, no, look, it's going to be completely different. But no, I'm really looking forward to it.
Have you any thoughts ahead of the next season, or is this kind of a tip your toe in just to see how it goes?
Yeah, no, look, I think our plan is to do the Tarmac Championship next year. That's the main plan, and then if we can fit in maybe a European round or two then as well with that. But look, we'll see how things go. As we said, this weekend is the start of it, and we can start making plans from there. But it's really to get up to the pace as quickly as we can. But I know we won't be there straight away. I'd say like middle of next year, if we can be thereabouts, battling with third or fourth, because I think Callum and Josh are off by themselves. But look, we'll keep on aiming.
So thanks very much there to Eddie. That is season 2, episode 33. Please like, share, rate, subscribe, all those things once again. Also, shameless plug. This weekend, at some point, we will have the legends talking about legends. We clue there for you, a bit cryptic and all that there, but that hopefully should be out Sunday evening. So that's a very interesting chat, real good fun. I have to say, I really enjoyed recording that one. So that'll be something to look forward to, probably on Sunday night to look at things in a way. So that's it now. So until next time, take care, speak soon, and bye.